We are live. Welcome to Rice TVx. On today's Rice Report, going to be talking about the global food supply crisis. There's lots to cover on today's video. We're going to go ahead and get things started. As always, before we do begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVx.
Start trading crypto today. Sign up for our step-by-step video series to get set up with the best trading tools, start analyzing charts, enter and exit a trade properly, and most importantly, see if crypto trading is right for you. Join us at bitlabacademy.com.
And you can always find information for the sponsors of Rice TVx in every video description. BitSwap Dex, which also includes BitLab Academy. Also, we have Presearch and Monarch Wallet. Make sure you smash that like button as it helps other people to be able to find these kind of videos in the YouTube algorithm flow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in for today's episode of the Rice Report, talking about the global food supply crisis. I always put all advertisements and sponsored content at the very beginning of the video as to not interrupt the content flow of what we're going to be talking about on every video. Before we get into it, visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVx content. You will also find my various social media links and more. You can also find Rice TVx on Odyssey and Library, where I have a full catalog of my videos, post up extra content, and share other appearances. And you can also find Rice TVx on BitChute. All right, so I do appreciate you tuning in. I do want to let everybody know that yesterday I did have an awesome conversation that I recorded with Donut from the Donut Factory. That is currently available on my Patreon channel for early access. If you decide to become a patron, it is a way to support the channel and it would be greatly appreciated. That video will be coming out tomorrow. I haven't decided on the time that I'm going to be releasing it, but it will be coming out tomorrow. It is going to be Down the Rabbit Hole episode number 3 with Donut. We're going to be talking about some of the things we're talking about on today's show, the global food supply crisis. And we also kind of get into our economic financial collapse that we are currently experiencing. So let me go ahead and acknowledge everybody who is in the chat, which is just a few people because there's not a lot of people right now currently watching. I did post this up last night, so I didn't have a lot of time to really promote it. And YouTube doesn't do the best job of notifying people that my videos are out or that I'm live. So if you're not receiving notifications, I encourage you to turn the notification bell off and then back on. Maybe also unsubscribe and resubscribe before you do that. Because if you unsubscribe after you hit the notification bell, I believe it will automatically turn off the notification bell. So one of the things I wanted to share on today's video, and I'm going to be sharing some articles and some information, a YouTube video that comes from one of the commissioners, I believe, for the EU. So we're going to be sharing all this on today's video. It's linked down below in the video description. But everybody's been hearing a global food supply crisis is coming. So most of you might know that I have partnered up with My Patriot Supply. I encourage people to take advantage of my partnership with My Patriot Supply. I will share the website in just one quick moment, but here's a real quick commercial that I put together to share information on how you can take advantage, save some money, and support Rice TVx at the same damn time. I've partnered up with My Patriot Supply so that you can prepare for these uncertain times. Visit www.prepwithrice.com. I highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's largest emergency preparedness company. Act quickly and you'll save $150 off their essential 3-month emergency food kit, which contains an abundance of delicious foods that provides more than 2,000 calories a day. This includes free shipping quickly and in unmarked boxes to your doorstep. Visit www.prepwithrice.com as an additional way to support the channel. Okay, so again, prepwithrice.com. That's where you want to go to take advantage. And this way, it does support the channel as well. And you do get to save some money as well with this. And that's the reason why I did this partnership, so that you can save money and support the channel at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up right now, giving you a quick idea. We have on the 3-month emergency food supply, you can save $150. The normal price is $897, and it's discounted to $747 if you visit prepwithrice.com. You can also take advantage of the 4-week emergency supply, which is normally $297, but they do have it discounted this month. And I believe that will be through July as well, but don't quote me on that. So right now, currently, at least for the next couple of days, you can get a 4-week emergency food supply kit for $247. So check out prepwithrice.com. Make sure you share that with your friends and family that haven't stocked up on food. And again, I don't say these things to scare people. This isn't a fear porn type video. I'm not trying to scare you into buying emergency food. I'm going to share a lot of information that's going to explain more of why I'm doing this, because I definitely don't promote fear porn. Now, this is a 72-hour food package that My Patriot Supply had sent me. I haven't opened it up currently. I may open it on another episode. I may actually do 72 hours of just eating this stuff. Now, it's non-perishable. It's emergency food. It's not something that I would, encourage people to eat on a regular basis. But I may try to go camping or something like that, and try to utilize some of this and try to do it from a way that doesn't use modern luxuries that we have today with stoves and things like that. Kind of try to do it old school. We got to learn how to take care of ourselves and survive and thrive is definitely what we want to be aiming for. So again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you haven't smashed that like button, please smash that like button. I talk about ways that you can support the channel, but the best way that you can honestly support the channel is by smashing the like button, or even giving the video a thumbs down if you don't like it, commenting on the videos, sharing the videos. Those are some of the most important things that you can do to help build the channel up and expand the audience so that we can reach more people. I like to think that I'm trying to provide value to others, and the more people I can provide value to, the better. So please share my channel, my videos. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and get to some of the articles, and then I will be coming back to the live chat and seeing what everybody has to say. And I do appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you so much. Again, everything that we're going to be talking about is linked down below in the video description. So the G7, I'm not sure if they're still currently meeting or if they just got done meeting, but the G7 is 7 of the wealthiest nations that have gotten together to work for improvement of the infrastructure of those countries and the improvement of those countries, so they can ultimately help the rest of the world. Now, I want to read this statement directly from this website, which comes from reliefweb.int. It's the G7 Statement of Global Food Security from June 28th, 2022. And that was just yesterday. So we, the leaders of G7, will spare no effort to increase global food and nutrition security and to protect the most vulnerable, whom the food crisis threatens to hit the hardest. Now, they talk about challenges. Some of these words that you can read on the screen, I may use different words to replace them because I have to speak in code, as to not have any issues with YouTube giving me strikes. So hopefully I'm appeasing the YouTube overlords here and get my message across. But the challenge is, we note with grave concern that in 2022, according to the UN Global Crisis Response Group on Food, Emergency, and Finance, up to 323 million people globally will become acutely food insecure or are at high risk, making a new record high. Multiple entwined crises include conflicts, the banana pandemic, the loss of biodiversity, and I'd have to look into that a little bit more, but what are your thoughts on loss of biodiversity, climate change, and ongoing global economic uncertainty around the globe, result in this existential, hate that word, challenge. And it mentions that Russia's war, their aggression against the Ukraine, including its blocking of export routes for Ukraine's grains, is dramatically aggravating the hunger crisis. It mentions that Russia bears an enormous responsibility, which we'll talk more about here in just a few, in our pursuit to ensure that all people can realize that their right to adequate food. We reaffirm our goal to lift 500 million people out of hunger and malnutrition by 2030, convenient date, as resolved in the 2015 G7 Almu commitment. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the rest of that word right. Now, I'm not going to go over the rest of this. I encourage you to read this in more detail. They have their responses to the Global Alliance for Food Security, their actions that they're taking. It's a lot of really good information in this article. Always do your own research and read these things in its entirety. Now, I don't have a subscription to The Economist magazine, and I don't plan on getting it, so I can't actually share the fullness of this article. But this is where I got the image for the thumbnail, and it's titled "The Coming Food Catastrophe." So, and these are coming from legitimate sources, not that they're the most trusted sources, but between world leaders and what we're hearing on the mainstream news and what I'm sharing with you, we know that there is a coming crisis. It's going to be hitting us. And I'll get into a little bit more of that. I mean, we also have these, and I don't know how to like really explain it, but the food plants and storage facilities that have apparently been burning down. In addition, the chickens, bird flu killing off chickens and things to that effect. There's a lot of really interesting things happening, which I will be going over here in just a moment, talking about kind of giving a different perspective as to what the G7 was saying. So continuing on, they talk about, and a lot of this situation that I'm talking about in regards to the global food supply crisis is trying to be blamed on Russia. Now, I'm not saying that that is or isn't correct. I'm just trying to give you the perspective that's being pushed. So, by invading Ukraine, Vladimir Putin will destroy the lives of people far from the battlefield. And on a scale even he may regret, the war is battering a global food system weakened by bananas, 19, the climate change, and energy shock. The cranes of the EU export of grain and oil seeds have mostly stopped, and Russia are threatened. Together, the two countries supply 12% of traded calories. Wheat supply up to 53% since the start of the year, jumped a further 6% on May 16th after India said it would suspend exports because of an alarming heat wave. So the widely accepted idea of the cost of living crisis does not begin to capture the gravity of what may lie ahead, which will also cause food inflation, which will be higher priced food. You're going to see more shrinkflation, where you're going to be buying the same products, but they'll have less of the product inside of the packaging. The packaging will look the same, but the amount of product that's in it. And some of you may have already noticed that as you're going grocery shopping. Maybe you buy Doritos. It used to be 3/4 of the way full. Then it got to be about halfway full of the bag. The bag is probably less than halfway full right now, and you're paying the same price. That is shrinkflation. And that's because of the inflation that we're currently dealing with. Now, food security update. This comes from worldbank.org. Another thing that I want to remind people of is my partnership with Money Metals, where you can get a free half ounce of silver. If you've never bought anything ever from Money Metals Exchange, as a first-time buyer, you purchase a minimum of $100 worth of anything on their website they have available. And they have silver, gold, they have gold backs, which I've done a video on. They have lots of really cool products. You buy a minimum of $100 as a first-time buyer and use the promo code RICE at checkout. You get a free half ounce of silver, and it's another way that you can support Rice TVx, and it would be greatly appreciated. All right, so here we are with the food security update. The rising food insecurity in 2022. So from the World Bank on June 22nd, which is about a week ago, talks about many countries facing global growing levels of food insecurity. I love how they're using this verbiage of food insecurity. It's really a food crisis. reversing years of development gains and threatening the achievement of sustainable goals by 2030. Again, that 2030 year. Even before the Banana 19 reduced incomes and disrupted supply chains, chronic and acute hunger were on the rise due to various factors. So hunger has obviously been a problem on our planet for quite some time, but it's been usually developing nations in really poor areas. Now that I feel is going to change. A lot of people are going to be experiencing this. Now, I cannot say for sure that we're going to get in a situation here in the United States where there's absolutely no food. But as far as what you're going to be able to choose from and what will be available may be limited. But depending on how people respond to what's going to happen, we could run out of food. People could basically do what happened more than likely with toilet paper, unless somehow grocery stores are able to put a limit on what people can and cannot buy at one particular moment. So there's already been issues. We talked about the disrupted supply chains. I've talked about that in previous videos. They also mention various factors, including conflicts, socio-economic conditions, natural hazards, climate change, and pests. The impact of the war in Ukraine's view add risk to global food security. So again, they're kind of pushing this narrative that what's happening between the conflict with Russia and Ukraine view is causing this food supply crisis. But as we're seeing here, it was already beginning before that. So it's almost as if it was in the plans. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments section or in the live chat. Here in a moment, I will come to the live chat and see what everybody has to say. Let's see here. Let me go back to the next article. Again, you guys can read these all in their fullness. I want to notate here that the overview, while the outlook for global food supply remains favorable, food prices increased sharply due to elevated input prices, which combined with high transport costs and trade distribution due to the war in Ukraine are raising import bills. That hits poor and developing countries the hardest as they depend on food imports the most. So I feel as if since the dollar is still technically the world reserve currency and we're the spoiled Americans, we're still going to have food available when other parts of the world do not. And that's what may start causing the panic as that is being reported. And let's say the mainstream news is talking about nations that are filing bankruptcy, that cannot continue monetarily, do not have food, and there is a crisis going on. That will cause a ripple effect. So that's why I'm trying to tell people, it's never too late to be preparing. And not with just backup food and having at least a minimum of 3 months worth of food for each person living in your home. Minimum. You can have bartering items. There's a lot of different things. Bullets, toilet paper, as we know. Toilet paper has become a hot commodity in the past. So think about things that you can barter and trade with. Medicines, anything to do with like bandages and things to that effect. People like cannabis, things to like that, alcohol. There's a lot of things that people can take advantage of and stock up on in whatever way that you can afford to do so. But if you don't start doing it, if you haven't already, then you're really going to be regretting this, because we're going to get into a situation that's not going to be pretty. And then, we also got to include the inflation that is going to be continuing to take its effect, which is going to continue to make the prices of food go up. So the combination of food going up, in addition to the shrinkflation, so you might be paying more for that same bag of Doritos that's not even half a bag of chips. So that's something for people to consider. It's really important. The next thing I wanted to share was from the Wall Street Journal. And what is the date of this article? This was on June 9th. So this is about 20 days ago. But this is talking about the wheat harvest. This has been a big topic that's been brought up. It was about May 20th, May 21st, that there was a lot of information coming out about a 10-week global wheat supply remaining. 10 weeks. So that would have put us at the end of July, beginning of August. So we're going to see how this plays out, but that's a good month. So maybe a month from today, but I can't really predict exactly when, but the 10 weeks would be up end of July, beginning of August. So it talks about the EU wheat supply under threat, further straining global supply stressed by the crane of view. So they keep bringing up what's happening in regards to that conflict as being the issue for causing this problem. Now, I didn't realize that I couldn't see the fullness of this article. I think I was looking at this on my phone and it was allowing me to, because I think you're allowed so many free views, but I'm not going to support the Wall Street Journal and get a subscription. But I wanted to show where they're talking about a significant portion of the wheat supply has been disrupted by the crane of view's Black Sea ports remain blockaded following Russia's invasion. We're going to talk more about that in just a moment as the last article. I wanted to share this article from USA Today. This came out on June the 26th, which was 3 days ago. And it talks about the U.S. wants farmers to boost wheat production amid a global food shortage, and they can't afford it. So the key points: Russia war is triggering a wheat shortage in countries dependent on Ukraine supply. The Biden administration is pushed to expand U.S. wheat production, but incentives have limits. And droughts in the Great Plains and rain in the upper Midwest have challenged this year's wheat harvest. Now, the next thing I wanted to share was from Alternative Press, AP News. It was the UN chief, not a commissioner, or EU, whatever I said at the very beginning of this video, because I want to be sharing a video from this guy. The UN chief warns of catastrophe from global food shortage. The head of the United Nations warned Friday that world faces catastrophes because of growing shortage of food around the globe. Excuse me. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the war in Ukraine abuse has added to the disruptions caused by climate change, the coronavirus pandemic, and inequality to produce an unprecedented global hunger crisis after affecting hundreds of millions of people. And I said a word that I was trying to avoid saying, but I said it. So the video may get demonetized. Who knows? We'll see what happens. That's why I'm trying to be careful about the words that I'm saying, but still trying to make sure I'm getting my point across, because I really feel as if all this has been planned and it goes into the whole Great Reset agenda. My opinion. It mentions here that there is a real risk of multiple famines will be declared in 2022. And this is going to come from obviously where you have areas of droughts where you have no rain, no excess water, and then you have areas where they were talking where it's raining too much and affecting crops. So we can't kind of have it even everywhere. Now, this year's food access issues could become next year's global food shortage. So no country will be immune to the social and economic repercussions of such a catastrophe. They mention that they are negotiating on working on a deal that will enable the cranes of you to export food, including via the Black Sea, and let Russia bring food and fertilizer to world markets without restrictions. He also called for debt relief in poor countries to help keep their economies afloat, and for the private sector to help stabilize global food markets. And what's interesting about that is we constantly are dealing with situations where people are starving and people are hungry. It's just one of these sad fact realities that's going on, and there should be no reason why people on this planet are hungry, why you have 1% of the population having more wealth than the 99%, but yet you have homelessness and food as an issue that people are without. And I believe that every human has a right of food and a place to live, shelter. Tell me what you think. So I will be coming to the comment section here in just a moment. We're not going to be doing a very long video today. I may be going for another 15 or 20 minutes just to give everybody a heads up. I want to share the audio on this. And let me know that you can hear this all right. I'm going to play a second of it, then see what you guys are saying. Let me know you can hear this, and then I will play the fullness of it. Again, it is linked down below in that video description.
The Russian invasion in Ukraine is amplifying and accelerating all this.
Okay, so let me know if you guys can hear that.
The Russian invasion in Ukraine.
I would ask that you please smash that like button on this video if you have not done so already. Going to go to the chat, see what everybody's saying as far as, and my chat's messed up. Okay. Let me go over to my YouTube video, see what everybody's saying. Sean C, good seeing you in house, man. I just now seeing the chat, so it's good seeing everybody here. I really appreciate. I will go through everybody on the chat. Sean says he can hear it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play this real quick. Here we go. I got so many screens I'm trying to share. Here we go.
The Russian invasion in Ukraine is amplifying and accelerating all these factors: climate change, COVID-19, and inequality. It threatens to tip tens of millions of people over the edge into food insecurity, followed by malnutrition, mass hunger, and famine in a crisis that could last for years. But let's be clear, there is no effective solution to the food crisis without reintegrating Ukraine's food production, as well as the food and fertilizer produced by Russia and Belarus, into world markets despite the war. Without reintegrating Ukraine's food production, as well as the food and fertilizer produced by Russia and Belarus, into world markets despite the war.
Okay, so that's straight from the UN. What is his position? UN chief. So he is the head of the United Nations. Let me go ahead and get this video to stop on my end because you guys can't hear that. Again, I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Now, the last thing that I wanted to share was one more article, and this kind of goes into kind of giving a different point of view. Now, I have not done enough research to say that what I'm about to talk about is the absolute truth, but there's always multiple sides to truth, especially when we're experiencing it being reported by the mainstream news. So this could be another factor I want people to consider. I'm not trying to be a sympathizer of any means of any particular country. I'm not supportive of war. I'm not supportive of what's going over in the Ukraine of you with Russia. But this article is really interesting. It comes from Al Jazeera and let's see, this came out on the 24th of June. So this is like 5 days ago. In addition to there being a G7 summit, there was also a gathering, a summit of sorts for the BRICS nation, the BRICS Plus. BRICS nation, so this was a virtual summit that brought together the leaders of 17 countries, including China, India, Brazil, and South Africa. If you combine Russia, China, India, Brazil, that is your BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, BRICS nation. It was a banking alternative to get away from the Swiss system and the traditional financial system because of a lot of the stuff that's going on. But Mr. Putin of the Russia's defends a global food crisis stance. Accuses Western countries, and particularly the United States, of destabilizing global agricultural production. So we've heard about all the farmland that's being purchased up by corporations and also entities like Bill Gates. Apparently, Bill Gates is the owner of the majority of farmland in the United States, as far as one individual. So you're seeing that happen. We've heard all these different situations, and it's a lot to put together, but I know a lot of people have heard about the reports of food plants, food processing centers, food storage facilities, all kind of having issues with damages that destroy the facilities, whether it's fire or something going on. It seems as if there's a coordinated effort if you kind of put all of this together, but I can't say that that is actually the fact of what's going on. But I do want people to use critical thinking and to think outside the box here. So Putin has accused Western countries, in particular of the United States, of destabilizing global agricultural production with restrictions on the delivery of fertilizer from Russia and Belarus, and by making it difficult for Moscow to export grain. Rising prices on agricultural staples such as grain have hit the hardest developing countries, developing markets where bread and flour are a necessary means of survival for the majority of the population. He also slammed the hysteria surrounding grain that has been trapped in the Ukrainian ports since the start of Russia's military action, saying it does not solve any problems on a global grain market. He also said that Russia is a responsible actor on the global food market and is ready to honestly fulfill all of its contractual obligations. And I heard the same thing when it came to oil, that they were willing to fulfill all their obligations. But I believe the problem is that Russia wants to receive their ruble in return. They don't want US dollars. They don't want the fiat money that's worth nothing, that's losing value every day. So I can't say 100% that him saying that they would honestly fulfill all their contractual obligations is 100% factual. But I do, again, encourage you to do a deeper dive, do your own research so that you can make an opinion that works best for you. And hopefully this information will help you to come to that conclusion in addition to the research that you're doing. And all these articles, once again, are linked down below. They also talk about millions of tons of wheat and other grains are currently stuck in Ukrainian ports, either blockaded or occupied by Russian forces, and vessels face the dangers of mines that have been laid in the Black Sea. Friday also marked 4 months since Russia sent tens of thousands of troops over to the border, unleashing a conflict that has killed thousands of combatants and civilians, uproot millions of people, and seen cities blasted to bits by the Russian artillery and air raids. So basically, what Putin here is saying is that the U.S. is pointing the finger at Russia when the U.S. might be a little bit more to blame than Russia is to blame. So that is something people need to take in consideration. I did mention my partnership with Money Metals Exchange. You can go over to moneymetals.com and take advantage of my partnership, get that free half ounce of silver, and support the channel at the same time. Actually, really quick, and then we're going to go to the live chat and we're going to wrap up the video. I do have a really quick infomercial that I put together letting you know how you can take advantage, get your free half ounce of silver, and support Rice TVx. Get your free half ounce of silver. Take full advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange in 5 easy steps. 1. Visit moneymetals.com. 2. Be a first-time buyer. 3. Purchase a minimum of $100. 4. Use the promo code RICE. 5. Get a free half ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel. And I always encourage people to invest in things like gold and silver in addition to things like cryptocurrency, and diversify, because gold and silver have really truly proven themselves as being a safe haven asset, as being a way to preserve what you have. You don't invest in gold and silver to get rich. You don't do it because you think there's going to be a large increase in the value of gold or silver. You do it to maintain what you have, because the system itself, our legacy financial system, our debt-based system, is designed to take away money and purchasing power from those who save. It is not designed for save. A debt-based system does not reward savers. In fact, it penalizes you. You lose purchasing power. If you were to save $10,000 for 10 years, when the 10 years time is up, you would not be able to buy as many goods or services with that $10,000 than you would have before, if you had spent it all before you put it into the bank, into a savings. So the system is designed for you to lose your purchasing power. The dollar has lost purchasing power since 1913, since the Federal Reserve got in power. And that's kind of where I feel like, if you look at everything that's happening, you look at the agendas that are talked about, you look at the World Economic Forum, you look at the Davos meetings, you look at the G7 stuff, the BRICS plus events, what's happening with the EU and the Federal Reserve, this coming food supply crisis, blaming what's happening over in Europe when it could be other factors that are causing these things to take place. But ultimately, they're taking place. So that's why I'm really encouraging people to make sure that you're stocking up, you're taking advantage and getting what you can while you can. Because, and also, if you're in a position to get more than you need, I encourage you to do that as well. Because if you do that, you can help others. And helping others is one of the most important things that we can do when SHTF shit hits the fan, because shit is going to hit the fan. I'm not trying to scare people. This is just reality. I've been talking about this kind of stuff on my channel for years, and it's coming to fruition. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but it's coming. So people need to prepare. But again, the wheat supply crisis issue is something that they're saying the global wheat supply should run out 10 weeks from May 20th, May 21st, which should put us into the end of July, beginning of August. That's when you're going to start seeing things tighten up. You might start hearing about other nations that are having problems with food. That will start to grow, and then it will start making its way to the United States. And if it's reported correctly, there will be a panic. And who knows what will happen from there. Now, me and Donut, we did talk about this on the episode that we recorded yesterday. He kind of gets his point of view with some of this stuff. The only thing that we didn't mention that I meant to mention was the fact that we have these food processing plants, storage places that are catching fire, that are blowing up, that are having some sort of incident that is causing a consequence of destruction. And it's quite interesting. So I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead real quick and go through and see who's joined us in the comment section. If you are finding value in today's video, smash that like button, smash it real good. Again, if you didn't get notified and you do have your notification bell on, turn it off, turn it back on, or even consider unsubscribing, resubscribing, and then hit that notification bell and see if that changes anything. So we have Emily Hart in the house. I appreciate you joining. My cousin, my blood of my blood, Mr. Michael Crumrine. Johnny Midas, good seeing you. Jonah Curry, good seeing you. Kylie Gerard, hopefully I said that right. Chris Gannon, what's going on? Glenda Sabo, Justin Blaine, Laura, good seeing you. Laura says, did you see the Dakota AG stepped in Gates buying so much land there? Yeah, it was South Dakota, I believe. They have some sort of law about corporations buying farmland. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting to watch. And we did talk about that, me and Donut, on the video is going to be coming out tomorrow. Or you can watch it now and get early access by going over to my Patreon channel. Become a patron. I'm going to be spicing up my Patreon channel and making it a whole lot more worth its value. So I definitely encourage you to head over to Patreon, and I also have free videos over there as well. So not all the content is locked behind a paywall, but it is a way that you can support Rice TVx. Let's see here. Justin Blaine, good seeing you. Sean C, good seeing you, my friend. Yeah, no, I would agree with that statement, Jonah. Thank you. We have David Brumbelow Jr. Hopefully I said that one right. And Zen Win AZ. AZ, I'm assuming would be Arizona, but I do appreciate. David, thank you. Be sure to find that John McAfee petition and sign it. Well, you know what? I always have that petition ready to go. So I'll go ahead real quick and do a copy and paste. We are up to 2,802 signatures. If you have not shared or signed this petition, please sign it and share it. John's body has not been released by the Spanish authorities. It's been over a year now. June 23rd, 6 days ago, was the 1-year anniversary of John's death. Check out my interview with Janice McAfee if you have not seen it. And make sure you sign and share this petition. And I went ahead and put it in the live chat. I put the version that's on the website, which is a long link version. You can also follow me on Rice TV, or excuse me, follow me on Rice TVx. You can follow me on Twitter at Rice TVx. And I've got the short link there that you can copy and paste and send out to people. Jay, I appreciate. Bullets, beans, booze, definitely good for bartering. Smart. I think I mentioned all of those. I didn't say beans specifically, but I said food. So yeah, you're right on it. Right on it. So appreciate. Chris Unherded. Learn about wild edible plants. You know, speaking about that, what's cool about that is right behind where I'm live now, where I'm going to be moving, there is a bamboo forest, and there are some local Asian people who work, either work or sell to Asian restaurants. So if you're here in the Winston-Salem area and you're eating bamboo, like bamboo shoots, you're probably getting it from out in the forest behind my apartment building. It's really cool. The more it grows, the trashier it kind of starts looking if people don't go and clean it up, kind of try to prune up the forest area. But yeah, there's definitely edible foods that you can learn to eat. And those bamboo shoots are one. Not that I would do that unless it was a necessity on my end. But definitely smart idea. Let me see here real quick. I want to throw up some information at the bottom of the screen. It's going to be floating across talking about my partnership with My Patriot Supply. Again, you can save $150 on a 3-month supply of non-perishable food, or you could save $50 on a 1-month supply, 30-day food supply, non-perishable foods, using the website link of www.prepwithrice.com. And I know I didn't have to say www, but I did it anyways. Prepwithrice.com. Thank you. Let's go back here and see what everybody's saying. Where was that funny comment? Okay, so there's the change petition. Let's see here. Sean C. said these events are a part of how you implement a great reset in not only the economy, but our entire society and way of life. Well said, my friend. And Zenwin AZ said, here listening, found you through Global Witness. Thank you, Rice TVx. And I appreciate you following my channel from the Global Witness. Derek Bro is a cool guy. He's been on the channel a couple of times, and hopefully we will be collaborating some more in the future. Mellow Crypto, how's it going, my friend? Laughy. Paulie P, this is what made me laugh. My friend Paulie P says, I'm hungry. Well, stock up on some non-perishable foods so you can take it in your truck with you. You can get a bunch of these 72 hours, or you can get like a 30-day, 1-month supply. But maybe you need to be hungry as round as you're getting. I'm getting round too, so I can say that to you, Paulie P. And I would agree with what Sean C has said here. If you have not done it yet, make sure you smash the like button, hit that like button, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I would be greatly appreciated. We all should have food and shelter. Taco and kisses. That sounds like a Berwick and Lucy episode. Okay. A1, food and shelter, yes, but also let people live off grid without water and forget management and their lands they manage. Water is definitely important, and I agree. All of this is by design, so I appreciate everybody sharing their thoughts. Less restrictions on living off the land, if being a good caretaker, if said land. Yeah, I guess if you don't own the land, that's where the problem comes in, but people can pull together and buy land. I know there's situations where people are buying 10, 30 acres and splitting that up between X amount of families. So Silver Litecoin, LTC, appreciate my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sean C is saying the Schwab mentioned at the last Davos meeting, crisis situations such as food shortages reveal a need of governments to be proactive in ushering in the fourth industrial revolution. Cray stuff, but truth. So, and all this information is very public. You can go to the World Economic Forum website. You can view the Davos meetings. These aren't put in the shadows and pretend like they don't exist. They're very vocal about what they're trying to do. We'll see about more comments, and then we're going to wrap up today's video. Again, I do appreciate everybody tuning in, and make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's video with Donut from the Donut Factory, episode number 3, going down the rabbit hole. It's available now on my Patreon channel, so consider becoming a patron. Yeah, jewelry. Jewelry's another one. I got to plug my computer in, or else I'm going to lose power during a live stream, and that wouldn't be good. I would look like Timcast getting raided. All right. TPTB knows something's going to go down, but they don't know when or where. Just it might be soon. Henry Bob, good seeing you, Mr. Swillikers. Thanks for being in the house. I haven't seen you in a live chat that I know of in a minute, so definitely great seeing you. Sean, I appreciate the feedback. A1 says, it is my friend who can't get his meds due to a shortage. More has been ordered, but how could this affect people if this continues? Yeah, no, I agree. You're going to see shortages on a lot of different things, unfortunately. Just looking through the comments, seeing what everybody has to say. This is the petition link. Get that thumbs up for sure, for sure, for sure. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything here. I'm glad that you're looking forward to that video with Donut. Again, if you want to support me on Patreon, it is available now, but it'll probably be about 24 hours from now that it'll be released publicly. And so David, you're in Clemens. I'm in Winston-Salem, so hit me up, man. You can email me, and I'll throw up a banner here that I have with my crypto consultations that has my email address. You can email me or contact me on Telegram or Twitter at Rice TVx, and it's only 1x. So if you get messaged by somebody with Rice TVxx or Rice TV_X, that is not me. Beware of imposter accounts, please. It's really important that people beware, not only for myself, but for other content creators, other YouTubers, people on social media. Be careful who you're talking to. I'm never going to send you an email or a direct message asking you to send me cryptocurrency or money or participate in any kind of investment or pyramid scheme. You do see information floating across at the bottom of the screen about supporting the channel. I do openly have information just so you can see this for those that do and can support the channel, because there are some, and I do greatly appreciate. Aside from my Patreon, there is PayPal, but I'm not going to email you or DM you. There's Cash App, and there's also my CoinTree website, which has all of my various cryptocurrency addresses that you can send tips and contributions to as well. Any support is greatly appreciated if you can afford to do so, but I'm not going to sit there and send you a message on Telegram or Instagram or Facebook Messenger saying, hey, send me some money or cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. So if that happens, I'm getting a lot of messages. Hey, is this you? If it's not at Rice TVx, one word, it's 7 letters. So it's Rice TVx, no underscore, no additional X's, just Rice TVx. If you're getting messaged by somebody with a different username, please report those accounts. And if that happens with other content creators, other YouTubers, other different people on social media that your friends are familiar with, report those accounts as well. We need to clean up the space as much as possible, and we need to look out for one another. So if you're being contacted by a scammer, please report that scammer account. Really, really, really important. All right. So beware of the imposter accounts. Make sure you go over to prepwithrice.com. Paulie P is in Lexington, so at some point we all need to kind of get together. But David, definitely hit me up. That'd be great. Anybody in the Triad area in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, hit me up. I'm going to be trying to put together some local meetups. So if you would like to attend a local meetup, some kind of gathering of sorts, consider hitting me up and let's make this stuff happen. All right, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to close the video off with playing my 2 infomercials that I created with ways that you can look out for yourself and sponsor the channel and support the channel. And that would be via Money Metals Exchange, so you can get your free 1/2 ounce of silver, and then with My Patriot Supply, so that you can save money on a 3-month or 1-month non-perishable food kit. Save $150 or $50. It's definitely worth it. I would definitely encourage you to do so. And again, it does help support the channel and be greatly appreciated. Get your free 1/2 ounce of silver. Take full advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange in 5 easy steps. 1, visit moneymetals.com. 2, be a first-time buyer. 3, purchase a minimum of $100. 4, use the promo code RICE. 5, get a free 1/2 ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel. Yeah, boy. I've partnered up with My Patriot Supply so that you can prepare for these uncertain times. Visit www.prepwithrice.com. I highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's largest emergency preparedness company. Act quickly and you'll save $150 off their essential 3-month emergency food kit, which contains an abundance of delicious foods that provides more than 2,000 calories a day. This includes free shipping quickly and in unmarked boxes to your doorstep. Visit www.prepwithrice.com as an additional way to support the channel. And all of this information is down below in the video description, including all the articles and the YouTube video that I shared on today's video so that you can continue doing your own research. I did mention the donut video coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm not putting anything out on Friday, but I am going to be putting something out on Saturday. Not exactly sure what I'm going to be putting out on Saturday. Still trying to figure that out. But I will be going live this Sunday. Unfortunately, this past Sunday's live stream with Ethan Lucas, I had some technical issues on my end and we had to reschedule. So we will be doing episode number 29, I believe. Episode number 29 with Ethan Lucas. That'll be Sunday at 1:00 p.m. So you are watching the global food supply crisis. Tomorrow we have Down the Rabbit Hole episode 3 with Donut coming out tomorrow. It's available now on my Patreon channel. No videos on Friday. Something coming out on Saturday. And then Sunday we are going to be doing episode number 29. Sunday's date is the 3rd of July. So the 3rd of July, episode 29 with Ethan Lucas, The Spirituality of Law, what they don't want you to know. Again, if you have not smashed that like button, please smash that like button. Please share this video with others that you think need to hear this information. If you're not subscribed, I would encourage you to make sure you're subscribed. I'm getting everything set up to close out this video. Got some really cool outro videos, some stuff that Satoshi Sean has made to update the channel. So I'm going to be closing it out with that. I will leave you with this. Be blessed, be the change, practice change. And I'll see you on the next episode.